Welcome to HD Nation, your guide to the best in HD content and the best in home theater gear, no matter what your budget is. I am Patrick Norton.
Hey, and I'm Robert Herron.
And we are excited about home theaters and HD technology.
Yes,
but some good stuff coming up in today's show, but some sadness.
There is from the Oh No's department. Basically, Q emails, quote, with Panasonic announcing that they're exiting the plasma production. What does that mean for the technology? And would you buy Panasonic plasma TVs on a closeout? Concerns about their support? Always signed Q.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I saw Q's email. I go on the internet. Half the internet's reporting that Panasonic will be shuttering its last plasma factory by March 2014. Panasonic lost almost $1 billion, like $913 million in their last financial year on their HDTV business. And we should point out there is no official confirmation from Panasonic yet, though, because didn't we have this same rumor like 4 months ago?
All year long we've been hearing this, which basically since CES. And my question really is, do I buy the VT60 now, or do I wait for the VT70 that'll be coming out next year? I'm not that concerned.
This is a sign that Mr. Herron does not have a lot of concerns about support for Panasonic's plasma.
That and near-term ability to buy their TVs. Now, as far as the future of plasma technology, plasma TVs, as good of a picture as they produce, represent really only a small fraction of overall TV sales. The liquid crystal display, the LCD, is king without a doubt. Now OLEDs, the organic light emitting diode technology, is going to basically take over where plasma is going to leave off. We're talking similar picture performance in a much lighter package. It costs a lot to ship around a heavy TV like a large plasma screen. And Panasonic has also demonstrated their own 4K OLED technology at the trade show I just mentioned a little while ago. Also, Panasonic's new LCD televisions like the WT60 are receiving terrific reviews, and that really reminds me I should request one for review as soon as possible.
So we had some sort of questions on Twitter. Should I wait until 2014 to try to get one on closeout? Or do you really expect the prices to drop that much on these?
Not necessarily, especially come toward the end. The thing that happened with the Kuro sets when Pioneer went away was that there was a rush on those TVs and they became hard to find.
And the prices went up, up, up.
So if there's a TV you really want, wait for the holiday sales, the Super Bowl sales, the baseball final sales, all of that. Well, there's always going to be a good sale on a TV you want. So when the price is right, just make a move on it, and don't wait too much about or worry too much about what's happening six months or further down the road from now. Especially when really there's been no official announcement. So keep that in mind.
Well, it's interesting. I guess they waited until the chairman, who dropped like $5 billion on plasma, retired. It's complicated. It's complicated.
Panasonic makes a lot of products, and it just turns out that plasmas aren't the biggest moneymaker in the world.
No, they lost like $1 billion. That's the opposite of a moneymaker.
That's a lot.
Fueled by reports of talks with developers and TV providers, the rumors that Amazon is ready to drop a set-top box in time for holiday shopping are back. The Wall Street Journal, of all places, Amazon ready set-top box for the holidays. That's a strong indicator that a little tiny set-top box featuring Amazon Play or Amazon Prime, Google Play, Amazon Prime. Sorry, Amazon. And I was just on Amazon Prime Instant Video last night on a Roku box. But it's kind of funny. I laugh because we got the PlayStation and the Xbox and the Roku and the Apple TV and like 300 other set-top boxes. And here comes Amazon.
I need more HDMI ports.
You need more HDMI ports.
More ports.
We all need more ports.
My AV receiver's already full.
I don't understand. We got an email from Michael in St. Louis. I think we have 17 set-top boxes in-house.
I would not doubt it.
Yeah.
We can daisy chain those HDMI adapters too.
Oh my goodness. Michael in St. Louis writes, I have a 50-inch Panasonic plasma TV with Charter HD cable. My dad has a 40-inch Samsung LCD using over-the-air antenna. He came over to my house to watch the baseball game on TBS HD. He asked why my picture looks so much better than his. At first, I thought it might be the antenna, but after researching, I found some people say the compression over-the-air uses is usually better than the compression cable uses. But does it vary? Is there a way to actually see what type of signal and compression we are receiving? As far as the size, if they're both 1080, then we should have the same number of pixels. Doing the math, mine would have approximately 24 pixels per inch horizontally, his 30 pixels, so his pixels would be smaller but sharper. Without comparing side by side, how do I tell? Was it the size of the TV, the type of the TV, plasma versus LCD, or the signal? well. Any thoughts, Michael in St. Louis, Missouri?
Yeah, we can assume both TVs are receiving a similar signal. One way to confirm that would be to actually record the same show on both systems and compare file sizes.
Right.
It's not impossible, but it's really not practical for everyone to do. It's a lot easier when you have like a home theater PC.
And make sure when you record the show that's coming to both televisions that you don't do something that like compresses it down a lot.
Totally.
That ruins
that
the
almost
whole...
never happens anymore, though.
Okay.
You really don't have to worry about that too much.
Just checking.
And also, too, I find that for most broadcast programming, you'll find that the signal, at least between cable and over the air, tend to be pretty equal. It's rare to ever see the cable signal being squished for no reason. Usually that's something I always look at with satellite content, though.
And it used to be really, I mean, the early days of HD on cable, it used to be atrocious, and the over-the-air looked amazing compared to what was coming over the cable.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, there are several things that could affect image quality. One, your larger screen size could be providing more visible detail at a given viewing distance. Say a 6-foot wide 1080p projection screen is what they often use in production houses to get a really good look at the detail and compression artifacts as well. Now, loss of detail from the TV setup. The TV, say his TV, could be enabling video noise reduction, or the sharpness is set too high, and it could be also just be simply lacking in picture contrast. It is an LCD versus plasma after all. Any of those things could cause the image to look less punchy, less detailed. Now, chances are your plasma, actually, your Panasonic plasma, provides much darker black levels than the Samsung LCD. Giving, again, more punch to the picture, a better contrasted image. Now, for the cable and satellite and over-the-air box setups, basically asking myself here, are both using HDMI? Are both configured to output 1080i or a native signal? You don't want something that isn't 1080i being broadcast to be dumbed down, not dumbed down, but reduced to 720p, say, and then the TV scaling that back up to 1080p resolution for its own. That could cause softening of the picture there. My initial guess would be that it's related to picture contrast, and that the Panasonic likely being superior in that term, is also your viewing distances. I'm thinking you're probably looking at it at a similar distance, but the larger screen is providing better, basically more detail for your eyeballs to look at compared to a smaller screen at the same distance.
What about, like, you know, is there sort of cruft turned on inside the TV, like crazy noise reduction or sharpness?
Always, because noise reduction can just also enhance the noise that's in the picture already and really make it look bad. And I find that, at least here in North America, you really don't need noise reduction, and there could be a couple settings related to that enabled. That can also soften a picture or introduce smearing in a picture on some sets I've seen when motion's occurring. Likewise, it could be specific picture settings like that mentioned, the noise reduction and sharpness, but also overscan. If you leave overscan enabled, you are sacrificing at least half the picture potential in terms of detail. You can look at that on a test pattern and say, oh, well, what's happening? But that's just something to keep in the back of your mind, and why I'm so picky about that one particular setting in terms of home theater setup.
So make sure the box is sending out 1080i, 1080p, or whatever's native.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got it connected over HDMI to your HDTV or your AV receiver. Make sure that you have overscan turned off on your HDTV. Make sure that noise reduction is turned off. Make sure the other settings are turned off, and
you could try a movie preset too. If all that's a little complicated for the TV setup, just reset the TV settings, try the cinema or movie mode. That will at least minimize a lot of those back-end processing like sharpening artifacts. Hopefully the noise reduction and overscan will also be turned off as well, I hope. Most TVs that have a movie mode usually will do that for you, but if not, those are settings you can definitely check and try. At Joe Steiger tweets, at Patrick Norton, at Robert Heron, I don't want to have to pull my Samsung F8000 off the wall again. Would a Sewell InjectIR work to use IR blaster with HDMI?
Actually it would. So we're going to show you a graphical representation of the InjectIR and how it works. Essentially, you take an HDMI cable, you put their little gadget on one end, it's got a IR receiver at one end, the little gadget on the other end, it's got an IR emitter or blaster at the other end, and it uses the CEC channel to carry your signal over the HDMI cable. It's really, really cool. Basically, you take your existing HDMI cable in the back of the television, plug their dongle on, put the receiver where you can see it, and then at the other end of things, you put their dongle on and you put their emitter on it so it can see the front of your media stack. I had the InjectIR set up in my house. It worked astonishingly well. And when I say astonishingly well, I was bouncing the IR so the remote's in my hand, it's hitting a screen 11 or 12 feet away from me and bouncing up to the IR injector that was on top of my projector. This is good. It works very, very well.
Sensitive.
It's extremely sensitive. It's good. It works, people, which I really, really like.
And what about dual band or single band IR? Does it matter?
They have a single band. They have a dual band. So single band like 33 to 43 kilohertz IR. Dual bands at 44 to 60 kilohertz. I would just buy the dual band version. You know, it's pretty simple. For $45, you get their kits.
I like the simplicity of this.
You get the dual band. Yeah, it's really simple, and while $55 may sound like a lot compared to a Harmony remote, it's really cheap. They actually also, I should point out,
or if you're dealing with all your components behind you or somewhere out of sight, this gives you a way to still control that.
And I should point out, so we have a projector. My family, there's a projector on the ceiling. It projects against the wall. All of our gear, the AVR, the iTunes, the AVR, the Apple TV, the Roku 3, the Blu-ray player, whatever else I have in the stack at any given point, is in a closet behind us, so it's completely out of sight. And the IR was the first thing I really tried. I really, really like it. It works really, really well. I still ended up moving to a Harmony remote because I wanted one remote instead of 6 remotes. You know, and by the way, check it out. SewellDirect.com is the webpage. They also sell on Amazon. They've got the InjectIR, which is super easy, and they have a whole range of blasters, and even one that's designed to be built into your wall, which is
nice.
A really Sano way of doing things.
I would just say use lightweight cables if you're going to use an extension like that on a cord. You don't want a really heavy cable, and then you've got that extender on it, and that's all just leveraging, especially out of the back of the TV or whatever display device.
Or you could just use a 90-degree adapter and plug this in there.
I got to buy some of those.
You got to buy some of those.
I think they have them at Costco. You should just grab a box.
There's not much of the way in directions in the box with this, so if you buy one and you're like, where are the directions, go to the website. They'll walk you through any kind of troubleshooting you have. And like I said, spend the extra $10, get the dual band version, just in case you find yourself with a dual band device in the future.
Woohoo! Hey, I'm wondering, is Samsung trying to take a bite out of Sonos?
Everybody's trying to take a bite out of Sonos.
I would.
So this is the Samsung-shaped wireless audio multi-room speaker system. I want to say the M7 or the RAM 750. Several M7 speakers can be linked via the Samsung Hub, and it's the Samsung. I guess it's the Samsung Shape M7 speaker.
Yes, the Shape is the actual speaker, and you can buy the hub, but just the speaker itself, I want to say, is what, $300-400?
Yeah.
We're talking NFC, Bluetooth, dual band, Wi-Fi enabled. App support includes things like Amazon Cloud Player, Pandora, Rhapsody, TuneIn Radio, and they'll be adding more for sure. Now, the system comes with one of the M7 speakers, and that'll be available this week for $400, and the Samsung Hub will be another $50. So, not bad. I'm wondering, can I take 5 of these plus a subwoofer and create a 5.1 audio setup, or is it really just for
probably
distributed audio in the house?
It's for distributed audio. It's kind of funny, right? Because Samsung is joining an already crowded field with like Sonos, legion of AirPlay devices. B&W did a review of their standalone speaker a while ago. There is an amazing array of these out there from major manufacturers. Not as many as there are sort of Bluetooth portable battery-powered speakers, but a lot of people have seen the success that Sonos has had and seem to be tapping into that area. Samsung, of course, being giant and wanting to take over everything, have their own version.
Yes. More money for research.
Well, and it's not particularly inexpensive. You're looking at $400 for the basic speaker, or you will be once it actually comes out.
I'm expecting better quality.
Than Sonos?
Well, no, it better be pretty good at that price point.
Most of these are not cheap, but you get pretty solid audio quality. Long story. If you want us to cover some more of the sort of networked audio systems in your home, let us know. I've used the Sonos, the B&W, and several others. We'll be glad to talk more about it. That's it for this episode of HD Nation. Please subscribe. Revision3.com/HDNation is where you can find us.
That's right. And please email us your comments, questions, or suggestions to hdnation@revision3.com or post them down below. Yeah. Hey, and until next time, thank you for watching.